This is the Eufy Robot Vacuum Omni C20, and right off the bat, what stands out to me is how modern and sleek it looks. The unit itself is a low-profile black robot with a really slim body, just over 3 inches tall, so it actually fits under my couch and bed, which is something my old vacuum never managed. The base station is tall, but surprisingly compact considering how much stuff it does. Charging, auto-emptying the bin, washing and drying the mop pads. When you set it up in a corner, it doesn't really take over your living space, but it does draw your eye with its clean, minimal design. I want to start this quick review by sharing my own story, because if you're like me, you might have had some doubts about robot vacuums, especially with pets in the house. I have a husky, and if you know anything about huskies, you already know their hair ends up everywhere. Before I got the Omni C20, I was vacuuming multiple times a day and always felt behind, especially with muddy paw prints on my kitchen tiles and fur clumps hiding under furniture. I honestly wasn't sure if one robot could keep up. Setting up the C20 was a simple process. I followed the quick start guide that came in the box, and I loved that I could manage everything through the Eufy app on my phone. The app walked me through getting it connected to my Wi-Fi. The vacuum only supports 2.4 GHz, which is something to keep in mind, but it connected without a hitch. Once the mapping started, the robot rolled around my place, creating this digital map so I could customize which rooms to clean and when. It's honestly a little wild to watch it figure out my floor plan. Once mapped, I could set up different cleaning schedules, choose which rooms to vacuum or mop, and even label rooms if I wanted. If you haven't used a mapping robot vacuum before, it's basically a way for the robot to learn your home and clean more efficiently. You don't have to worry about it wandering aimlessly or missing spots. It follows a logical path. Now about key features that really matter in everyday life. The first one is definitely self-emptying and self-cleaning. Most robot vacuums just return to charge, but the Omni C20 takes it to another level. After it's done, it goes back to the base, empties the dustbin itself, and even more impressive, it actually rinses and dries its mop pads without me having to touch anything gross. There's a tank for clean water and another for dirty water. Every few days, I just lift out the dirty water tank, dump it, and refill the clean one. That's it. All the dog hair, dust, and dirt collected gets transferred into a sealed bag in the dock, so I don't have to smell or touch anything. This is a huge deal if you have allergies or just really hate dealing with vacuum bags. Suction power is another area where the Eufy C20 surprised me. It's rated at 7,000 PA, which is much higher than most vacuums I've seen at this price. For anyone new, PA stands for pascals, a way to measure suction or air pressure, and more means it picks up stuff more effectively. It's handled husky fur, crumbs, and even those annoying little rocks my dog drags inside. No problem. I tried it on both carpets and hard floors. Whenever it gets to an area rug, the robot automatically senses it and lifts the mop pad off, or just vacuums there, so I don't have to worry about my rugs getting soggy. The transition is smooth, so there's no manual switch or fiddling. I just set and forget. Speaking of mopping, the Mop Master feature is worth pointing out, especially if you have tile or laminate floors like I do. This vacuum has twin mop pads on the bottom that actually spin and scrub. The pads rotate pretty fast, 180 times a minute, which means it scrubs up dried dog prints and kitchen spills instead of just wiping them around. What really stands out is how it lifts the pads when it senses carpet, so you never get wet spots on your rug. The mop pads automatically get washed and dried with room temperature air every time the robot goes back to the base. No more nasty smells or buildup, and no having to handle them myself. I also appreciate the ultra slim form, because cleaning under the couch and TV stand was always a nightmare for me. At just 3.35 inches tall, this thing actually glides under areas I could never reach with a regular vacuum. If you're worried about your vacuum being too bulky, the Omni C20 is seriously compact. Now I'll be real with you. There are a couple of quirks I've noticed. The main one is that the base station, when it's emptying the dustbin or washing the mop, gets louder than during cleaning. It's not unbearable, but it's worth knowing if you plan to run it late at night and your bedroom is nearby. Also, even though the app works great most of the time, I've had a couple of times when it disconnected and I had to restart the app to reconnect. But that wasn't a deal breaker for me. Sometimes the robot can get stuck on socks or toys if I forget to pick things up from the floor, since it doesn't have advanced obstacle avoidance like some really high-end models. Let's talk about the battery life next. From my experience, the battery lasts almost 2 hours on a single charge, which is enough to clean my entire downstairs space in one go without having to recharge. If you have a really big house, the robot will automatically go back to the dock, charge up, and then resume where it left off. I haven't had any issues with it running out of battery in the middle of cleaning. One more thing I want to mention for anyone new to robot vacuums. Maintenance is light but not completely hands-off. Every week I take 5 minutes to check the water tanks, empty the dust bag when it's full, which isn't often thanks to a pretty big tank, and occasionally wipe the sensors to keep them working. Everything is designed to pull out easily, even for someone who doesn't like fiddling with gadgets. So in my opinion, the Eufy Robot Vacuum Omni C20 is perfect for people who want something truly low maintenance and are tired of pushing a vacuum or mop around, especially anyone with pets. It's also great for folks who have allergies and don't want to deal with dust every day. If you live in an apartment or a house with lots of low furniture, that slim design is a game changer. I'd recommend this for busy families, pet owners, or honestly, anyone who just wants a cleaner house with very little effort. From my experience, it's helped take a ton of stress off my plate. No more running around with the vacuum after my dog, no more scrubbing the floors by hand. The fact that it maps out my home, works around my schedule, empties and cleans itself. Those are the details that make a difference. Even with a couple of small issues, the overall convenience and cleaning power make the C20 absolutely worth it for me. I genuinely feel like my home is cleaner and easier to maintain now. In conclusion, if you're thinking about upgrading your cleaning routine and want genuine hands-free help, the Eufy Omni C20 is the best purchase I've made for my house in a long time. It combines strong suction, smart mapping, real mopping, and self-cleaning, all in a compact and good-looking package. Any doubts I had when I ordered it are gone. I could not be happier and would buy it again without hesitation. If this quick review helped you out, please subscribe to my channel and drop a comment with any questions or thoughts about the Eufy Omni C20 or robot vacuums in general. Thank you for watching.